Greetings, brilliant scholars. I want to say one thing about the group informative project before we move on and talk about critiquing guidelines. I was under the impression that you all were further along in your group project than I think you actually were. So I have left the dates open till the end of April, and you will be doing everything but the actual presentation part, so as a group. But you still need to be sure that you have your 2 minutes of material. So I need you to work through the agendas, and on Thursday we're going to go over PowerPoint do's and don'ts. I hope that clears up any confusion you had. So let's talk about critiquing. Critiquing is a tricky thing because Michael used to say that if you're criticized, try it on for size and see how it feels. If it stings, there might be an element of truth. So when you are being critiqued, if only 1 or 2 people comment on a certain thing and nobody else did, then I would try it on for size and see if it fits. If it doesn't, toss it out, get rid of it. So go to Blackboard and open up critiquing, and let's look at these questions together. The first one is a scale question. I'm asking you to respond. I feel anxious at the thought of critiquing my peers. Strongly agree, agree, not sure, disagree, strongly disagree. Number 2, how do you feel about being critiqued? I welcome it, I want to improve. Not sure, anxious, oops, better put my glasses on, nervous, terrified, I don't want it. Number 3, I am open to constructive criticism and want to improve. I think all of us could agree on some level that we want to improve, and that is why criticism, it's so important to do it in a kind way. So let's look at number 4. Do not critique a speaker based on these things. These are things that are not subject to change, such as age. You don't want to disregard what someone might say because they're young. What about a doctor that's younger than you are? You don't want to discredit their knowledge because of their age. So the first thing is, do not critique a speaker based on their age. The second one is race. We all may have racial bias. We may think that we don't. However, you'll have to test that in your own way. But as far as critiquing goes, do not judge a speaker based on their race. So we have age, we have race. Now, gender is the next one. So don't judge a speaker based on their gender. And finally, don't judge a speaker based on their shape or their size or their stature is another word for that. How round or how flat or how square they are, about their shape. I know that's hard for me to do because if I go to a dietitian, I want a dietitian to be a healthy weight, right? And if I went to a dietitian who weighed 100 pounds over their ideal weight, I would question their integrity. So that's a tricky one. So do not critique a speaker based on age, race, gender, or stature, or size. So what do we focus on? Number 5, what do we focus on? We look at their content, what it is they're saying. Then we look at their organization. How did they organize that information? And finally, we look at the ethics of what they have to say. Is what they're saying ethical? So what do you think is most important? Content, delivery, or are they equal? For me, a speaker needs to get me with their delivery first and then keep me with their content. So you're going to have to weigh that and evaluate that one for yourself. You are probably going to come upon a time in your college and academic career that you may have an instructor whose English is not their first language, and they're very difficult for you to understand as English is your first language. So you are still responsible for that content no matter what the delivery is. So you're going to have to get past that and focus on what they're saying instead of how they're saying it. So let's look at number 7. So how should we critique people? First of all, words matter. Sticks and stones may break my bones. You finish the rest. But words can never hurt me. That is not true, is it? That's not true at all. Words can be very hurtful. And once you say them, they cannot be taken back. So we're going to use kind words. Second, offer a suggestion. Third, be specific. Fourth, we're going to balance the positive and the negative. And finally, we're going to do it in writing. So, we're going to use kind words. We're going to offer a suggestion. We're going to be specific. We are going to balance the positive and negative. And finally, we're going to do it in writing. And not apologize. That's important. All right, so the last 3 questions are scale questions for you. I will use these guidelines when I'm giving constructive criticism. I know that we're not going to be able to do that with each other this semester, but hopefully if you're ever called upon to give criticism in another class or in another setting, you will take these guidelines into consideration. Number 9, when I'm giving feedback to a speaker that I don't particularly like, I will try to keep my personal feelings aside. Strongly agree, agree, not sure, disagree, and strongly disagree. And finally, I believe that I can critique my classmates objectively. Strongly agree, agree, not sure, disagree, and strongly disagree. Bye-bye for now.